Ew.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video, the Sunday video to be exact. So what we're going to do today is, I told you there were some unforeseen issues with the Foxbody, and this week I just kind of started cleaning my parts bin, if you want to call it that. So as the story goes, I picked up the car, and when I picked it up 5 years ago now, which is crazy, all the parts were inside the car. The interior is completely stripped, and there was just enough room for me to sit in the driver's seat and drive the thing and make sure that it ran the way I wanted to. And at the time it did, it ran really good. But I never really knew what was in the car, and I was told it was all there, but you know how that goes. So before I really dig into this, I want to organize and see what is usable and what is not usable, get rid of the stuff obviously that we cannot use for the Fox. Like I said, I don't want something that has a completely redone interior. I'm not doing it completely stock to like OEM spec, so I don't care about a lot of this crap. The one thing I did care about having was I was really hoping the core of the dash was in there and not damaged, because they were hard plastic, and I was really hopeful that that was like the skeleton of the dash per se would be there so that I have something to go off of, because I want to use aluminum and do kind of aluminum panels and my own gauges, but I need the skeleton of the dash, and if I go buy one it's going to be expensive. Here it is. So I'm going to pan over here, and it's been painted once, but it's actually in really good shape. There's absolutely no cracks, and I lined all the holes up. Everything lines up and is able to bolt in the car just as it should, so I was super stoked about that. And here's the two other pieces that I was really hopeful to be able to find, because this, if I can do this one-handed here, clip in here like this. And I don't want to use like these ugly fans and little lights and gauge pods that it has, but I want to use this perimeter so that I have a template to put my aluminum plates on to do my own gauges. Then I have at least the structure so it can mount cleanly in this hole. Then I actually found the glove box as well. That'll sit there. So the only two pieces of the dash that I'm gonna have to buy is this pad right here and then the top dash pad, which are about 200 bucks. But like I said, I was just glad I found the skeleton. One thing that I thought was really interesting about this is you can see the colors right there. Obviously that's like your check engine light, stuff like that. One of the things that's in here, it looks like there was a shift light in these things factory. I don't know if you can see that right there. It says shift and it has an arrow pointing up. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it had a factory shift light, which I've never had an 80s Foxbody before, so I don't know. So it's just kind of cool to find little stuff like that. Now for the issues. What issues did we find with the Foxbody that we weren't sure of? First I gotta show you this. This is funny. If I can find it in my mess here. I still gotta go through some of this. There's the water pump right there. Got it. All right. So when I drove this car, it had an inline electric fuel pump, which with the Holley Sniper EFI kit is what we want to do anyway, inline electric pump. So the mechanical fuel pump's irrelevant anyway. The tongue of the fuel pump snapped off inside the front cover. I found it in there. So I don't know how the hell that even happens, but it snapped off. Then when I was cleaning out the car somewhere, I actually found a brand new mechanical fuel pump in there, but I'm not going to be using this, so it doesn't matter. So if you need one of these, let me know. All right, so first issue. So the first issue we have is on the firewall. You can see right there, there's actually a tear in the firewall. It's not rusty, it's just torn. And that's not something I've ever seen before. So I was like, what the hell, how is this firewall, how is the firewall in this thing torn? Well, I did a little digging, did a little research, and it turns out that the clutch quadrant, where your clutch cable and everything comes through from the inside of the car out the firewall, if you have a misadjusted cable, someone put a shitty adjustable cable in there, or something happened to your clutch, or you just had to apply too much pressure to the pedal, it'll flex that area on the firewall and rip it. So like I said, it's nothing we can't fix. What guys do is they'll plate it on both sides. They'll put aluminum plate on both sides over there where it cracked, and then bolt it together, obviously, so it's sturdier. I think I'm gonna pound it flat, put a bead of weld in there first so the crack is completely gone, and then I'll plate it regardless. But that's not a big deal. We have to take this engine out anyway, and I'm gonna do Monster Liner black on the whole engine bay. So I have to take everything out of there anyway, so that's not a huge deal. Obviously, we already showed you this rust spot. Again, not a big deal. Arizona car, they rust opposite of the way they do up here, thankfully. But I did find some rust on the floor. Get my light. You can see right there, somebody put in a really shitty patch panel where the seat is, and all of this right here, the rocker and everything, see if I can show you the pinch. All this is clean. It still has the original paint on it even, and the rockers aren't smashed up, the pinch welds aren't smashed up. So at least it's in the middle of the floor where the hole is, but it's not even bolted down over here. Watch this. I can go right in it. So that's gonna have to get fixed as well. And over here is the wiring harness that I was telling you about. Again, we're making our own harness anyway, so I don't care about this. I just finished taking it the rest of the way out of the car. But yeah, so those are some of the issues that I found with the Foxbody that I didn't know were there, because all of this pile of parts right here, this whole pile has been in the car since I got it, minus the water pump because I took that off. But everything else was just stacked in the car, and I really didn't know what was there and what wasn't. But you guys, all I cared about was I know this motor runs. I have my dash, which was going to be an expensive thing if I had to replace. And basically I got the whole car cleaned out. So I think what we're gonna do is, Steven, if you remember him, he's been on the channel a few times with the F100. His dad has a rotisserie. So I think, as you can see, the car's already gutted on the inside. I mean, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there except for a driver's seat, which is gonna go in the garbage because it's disgusting. So I think we're gonna rotisserie this car so it's easier to fix the floor. You can get floor pans for this for about 300 bucks for both the front pans. And the back of the floor is in great shape. This other side, I don't even know for sure if I need quite yet because I haven't moved all the leaves off. I need to go get more garbage bags. Went through like 10 garbage bags pulling shit out of here. So once I do that, we'll determine if we need the passenger side. For sure, the driver's side is gonna get a floor pan welded in. And I figured as long as I'm doing that and there's really no interior in the car and I'm gonna have the motor out, we're gonna throw it on a rotisserie so that I can undercoat the bottom of the car as well. Sounds like a big headache, but these cars, you guys, compared to like what I work on every day, there is nothing here. I mean, you could stand in here and work, and you could have this motor out here in half an hour. So I'm really excited that we're starting to get organized just a little bit. Pretty soon we're gonna have a lot of fresh content of us actually working on this car. And I promise this dash is gonna look good when we're done. I know it looks like hell right now, but we're gonna make sure it looks really good. So you guys, Shift, Wrench, Repeat, thanks for watching. We upload every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. I'm glad to bring you the Foxbody journey. This should be fun, guys, and I'm glad you're along for the ride. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop me a comment down below with any comments, questions, or concerns. Otherwise, see you next time.